Top 10 Isekai anime with an overpowered main character. If you're into anime, you might have heard of the Isekai genre. Isekai, which literally means another world, refers to shows that usually have protagonists that are transported to a fantasy setting, a setting where the protagonist is much stronger than in the real world. These protagonists usually grow in power over time, and it's tons of fun seeing them defeat high-level enemies with godlike powers that surpass human understanding. In this video, I'll go through the 10 strongest main characters in Isekai world. Before we begin, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button. Also turn on the notifications to get updates about our new topics. Okay, so let's begin. At number 10, we have Hajime Nagumo from Arifureta. From commonplace to world's strongest. The ordinary life of a 17-year-old otaku Hajime Nagumo is disrupted when he and his classmates are summoned to a fantasy world and tasked with saving mankind. While his classmates are gifted with impressive abilities useful in combat, Hajime is belittled for only gaining an inferior transmutation skill that lacks any real offensive power. They're treated like heroes and tasked with the duty of saving the human race from utter extinction. During an expedition in the Great Orcus Labyrinth, Hajime is betrayed by one of his classmates, plummeting him to the bottom of an abyss. Though he survives the fall, Hajime is faced with menacing monsters and misfortunes that send him spiraling into a grim nightmare. Desperate to live and return home one day, he resolves to fight for his survival only to meet an imprisoned vampire he names Yu, who is also seeking to escape the labyrinth. Taking an interest in him, Yu and a few others along the way accompany Hajime on his journey to find a way back home, while steadily transforming from commonplace to the world's strongest. At number 9, we have Seiya Ryugen from Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious. There is a popular saying, you can never be too careful. It is very important to prepare for every situation you may face, even if it seems like an unnecessary waste of time. Also, in games like RPGs, it is good to exceed the level of your enemies to achieve total victory. These words describe Seiya Ryugen a little too perfectly. After being summoned by the goddess Restarte to save the world of Gaiabrand from destruction, the hero prepares himself for his noble journey. While this might be normal, he spends a very long time training himself, despite having overpowered stats. He fights weak enemies using his strongest skills and buys excessive amounts of supplies and potions, all to stay safe. While his attitude may be a bit annoying, it might just be saving grace of Gaiabrand, especially considering that it is a world where the forces of evil dominate each and every expectation. At number 8, we have Diablo from How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Shouting gamer Takuma Sakamoto is summoned to another world by Shera and Rem, who both claim to be his master. He appears as his in-game character Diablo from the MMO he plays, Cross Reverie, and together they spend their days in this world that looks identical to the game. They fight against elite troops from the Elven Kingdom, slay demons, and subdue the resurrected demon lord ᴛᴏᴘɪᴄ. Diablo puts on a high and mighty persona worthy of a demon lord and goes up against the strongest of foes. He's sometimes toyed with by beautiful women, but always ends up building solid relationships of trust with them. One day while Diablo, Shera, and Rem were traveling through eastern lakefront forest, they came across a young maiden who looks worn out. Having just prayed to God in a state of confusion, she asked Diablo, "Are you God?" It turns out that she is Lumachina, the high priestess of the Church of Celestials, and was being chased by a paladin. The socially awkward demon lord Diablo must push his way forward with absolute strength, and together with summoners Shera and Rem, the tale of their dream-filled adventure unfolds once again. At number 7, we have Tanya ᴛᴏᴘɪᴄ from Saga of Tanya the Evil. Tanya Degurashaf is a young soldier infamous for predatorial-like ruthlessness and an uncanny tactical aptitude, earning her the nickname the Devil of the Rhine. Underneath her innocuous appearance, however, lies the soul of a man who challenged being X, the self-proclaimed god, to a battle of wits, which resulted in him being reincarnated as a little girl into a world of magical warfare. Hellbent on defiance, Tanya resolves to ascend the ranks of her country's military as it slowly plunges into world war, with only being X proving to be the strongest obstacle in recreating the peaceful life she once knew. But her perceptive actions and combat initiative have an unintended side effect, propelling the mighty empire into becoming one of the most powerful nations in mankind's history. At number 6, we have Naofumi Iwatani from the Rising of the Shield Hero. Naofumi Iwatani was just your average 20-year-old otaku who enjoyed MMORPGs. During a trip to the library, he finds a book about the 4 holy weapons. Little did he know, he finds himself sucked into its world along with 3 other young men who happen to be some sort of form alternative versions of Japan. Naofumi is assigned to be the shield hero whose information he could not find in the original book, but is immediately met with scorn and isolation. Initially, Princess Malti is willing to join his party, only to have him framed for sexually assaulting her. As a result, Naofumi is exiled from the party. Left with limited resources and money, Naofumi does what he can to level up with the help of Raphtalia and Philo in order to do their part in fighting off the waves of calamity, monster attacks that come every so often. At number 5, we have Izayoi Sakamaki from Problem Child, are coming from another world, aren't they? Izayoi Sakamaki's power is on a completely different level. The guy is ridiculously strong and is able to essentially cancel out the abilities of others. He's made to be a god breaker and can easily flip this whole society on its head. Izayoi is a main character as well as the most powerful of the Problem Children. He is the holder of a powerful gift known as Code Unknown. Maybe for that reason he is always bored, since there is no one who can challenge him until he's summoned to another world, the world of Little Garden, by Black Rabbit. There he aids the No Names, a community that was destroyed by a demon lord. He is currently one of the leading members of the No Name community. At number 4, we have ᴛᴏᴘᴘɪᴄ from Wise Man's Grandchild. ᴛᴏᴘᴘɪᴄ is the main character of the Wise Man's Grandchild. After dying of an unknown cause, he reincarnated into an unknown world, carrying with him a vague memory of his previous life. In his previous world, he is leader of the Ultimate Magic Research Society and ranks first in the first year S-Class. As the years pass, Shin displays unparalleled talent in both magic, casting, and martial arts, much to Merlin's constant amazement. On his 15th birthday, however, it becomes apparent that Shin only developed his combat skills and nothing else, leaving him with blatant social awkwardness, a lack of common sense, and a middling sense of responsibility. As a result, Shin enrolls in the kingdom's magic academy to hone his skills and mature among other teenagers. However, living a normal life is impossible, as he is established as a local celebrity almost as soon as he arrives. Kenja no Mako follows ᴛᴏᴘᴘ's high school life in the capital as he makes new friends, learns about the world, and fights off the various forces of evil surrounding him and his city. At number 3, we have Sadao Mao from The Devil is a Part-Timer. Sadao Mao is the main protagonist of the series. He was once the Devil King who declared war on anti-Islam in the attempt to annex the 4 continents. However, due to the actions of the hero Emilia Justina and her companions, he was forced to retreat back to Earth, causing him to lose almost all of his powers. Powerless in a world without magic, Satan assumes the guise of a human named Sadao Mao and begins working at MG Ronald's, a local fast food restaurant, to make ends meet. He soon realizes that his goal of conquering anti-Islam is just not enough, as he grows determined to climb the corporate ladder and become the ruler of Earth, one satisfied customer at a time. Whether it's part-time work, household chores, or simply trying to pay the rent on time, Hataraku Mao-sama presents a hilarious view at the most mundane aspects of everyday life, all through the eyes of a hapless demon lord. At number 2, we have Rimuru Tempest. From that time, I got reincarnated as a slime. Partner and best friend of the true dragon Veldora Tempest, Rimuru is the founder and the king of Jura Tempest Federation in Jura Forest. He is one of the demon lords of the Octagram. He lives in Rimuru City, the capital city of the Jura Tempest Federation. He is the main protagonist of the series and founder and king of the city known as Tempest. Originally, Mikami Saduro, a 37-year-old salaryman, was stabbed by a passing robber while protecting one of his co-workers and reincarnated in a new world as a slime, the lowest monster on the food chain. In spite of the situations he finds himself in, he often tends to be very easygoing yet calculating and cautious, a pacifist at heart. He tries to avoid casualties and save people if possible, and wishes to maintain good relations with humans. He later becomes an awakened demon lord in an effort to save one of his subordinates from clutches of death with an offering of 10,000 human souls. The onset of such a transformation is often beset by a change in personality, and as such, following the event, he became more subtly malevolent with his intentions. His often pacifist nature became less dominant, and he became more comfortable with killing or taking violent actions to protect the ones he cares about. Oh my god, here comes the number 1. One of my favorite MCA's All Gown from Overlord. Ain's All Gown, formerly known as Momonga, is the main protagonist of the Overlord series. He is the guild master of Ain's All Gown, Overlord of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, and the creator of Pandora's Actor. He is regarded as the highest of the almighty 41 supreme beings by the NPCs of Nazarick. In the New World, he is the Sorcerer King of the Sorcerer Kingdom and the most powerful magic caster in the world. His other identity is famously known as Momo, a dark warrior and leader of darkness, an adamantite ranked adventurer group of that nation. He is an adamantite class adventurer and the strongest adventurer known in E-Rantel. The final hour of the popular virtual reality game Yggdrasil has come. However, Momonga, a powerful wizard and master of the Dark Guild, Ain's All Gown, decides to spend his last few moments in the game as the server begins to shut down. To his surprise, despite the clock having struck midnight, Momonga is still fully conscious as his character, and moreover, the non-player characters appear to have developed personalities of their own. Confronted with this abnormal situation, Momonga commands his loyal servants to help him investigate and take control of this new world, with the hopes of figuring out what has caused this development and if there may be others in the same predicament. Our world is filled with many wonders. We all know this. This applies to anime as well, as we find over and over again while watching our favorite shows. But as much as I love those moments, this anime never gets old. I know most of my viewers have already watched all, but it gives you the same chills as when you first time watched this anime. So once more, I would suggest you to watch them. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and comment down below which one was the most OP MC in the list.